Okay. Hey everyone. This is Melanie here from Stamp with Melanie, and it's Thursday evening. Thanks for joining. We're going to get going in just a second here. Okay. All right. Looks like everything's up and running, so let's get started. First of all, just as an introduction, I just wanted to remind you about the Designer Series paper sale that's currently underway for the month of June. We have several 13 different paper packs that you can choose from, all for 15% off, so that's an awesome deal. And if you got a paper share, you probably had enough time by now to look at that and see which ones you like the best. So this is a good time to pick those up at a reduced cost. Also, next up, so I wanted to remind you about the join offer that's currently going on, also for the entire month of June. And this one is for $99. You get $155 worth of Stampin' Up! Product of your choice. And that includes free shipping. And generally, it's been my experience that when you sign up, in addition to, getting the products of your choice, you also get, catalogs and order forms and that sort of thing that you may or may not want. You also will get a sample paper pumpkin kit, past paper pumpkin kit, to become familiar with those if you're not already. So that's going on now through the end of June. And as a part of the starter kit, you can add these online exclusive products that will be available to everyone beginning July 6th. There's a Christmas set that's a stamp set and dies, paper and embellishments. And then there's another little bundle that's part of that also. Here's the other bundle. There will be more products included in the online exclusive release on July 6th. But these are the only ones we have available right now for a pre-order. So if you have any questions about any of those, be sure to reach out to me and I'll help you however the best I can. Okay, so tonight I thought we would take a look at the Countryside Corners stamp set and the coordinating dies and how best to use these and make them work for you. Now, we're just going to do a few things tonight, and then next week we're going to do some more projects using these same dies. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start by just taking this stamp set out, and we're going to just stamp an image. And it's only one stamp, and it's all of these different designs on this one stamp. And I'm going to, for ease in stamping, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. If you do not have one, you know now they are no longer available. So if you don't have one and you have one of the other versions of a stamp positioner tool, they work just as well for what we're going to do. Although I do still firmly believe that the Stamparatus is the best, and I'm so disappointed that Stampin' Up! Discontinued theirs, but I understand the reasons why. Okay, so we're going to put our stamp down. I'm not particularly worried where it's going to land right now. And I'm going to ink up my pad, my stamp, with some Blueberry Bushel ink. We'll flip this over, press it down. All right, and there's our image. You go, great. That's awesome. What the heck am I going to do with that? Well, there's a couple of things that you could do. And one is, well, obviously the first thing is you can leave it just as it is and make it a panel for the front of a card. You can also die cut it, the whole thing, using this largest die. But even then, what are you going to do with it? Again, you can use it as an image for a card front, just like it is. But say you didn't really want that, you just wanted to use part of it. Well, that's where it gets a little more tricky. So you can line your dies up so that you can cut out each level or each layer and have all these individual layers. And I don't really like that. But let's for example say that we wanted to use this one here. So we'll find the die that goes with that. And I think it's this one, yeah. And let's go ahead and die cut that. Oh, I have to tell you before we go any further, I cleaned my desk today. That's such a big deal. My desk always looks like a bomb went off, and you know how I always lose things? Well, hopefully, at least tonight, I'll know where everything is because I can see my desk. So exciting. So exciting. Okay, let's bring over the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I even put new plates on it. So let's go ahead and line this up. Don't move on me. I think we're good. Now, an option here, of course, is always to use something to hold your die in place. And you know I'm quite fond of using Post-it note tape as my holder. So I'll just put that on there. Okay. So we have this one panel, and now I can die cut smaller panels and layer them one on top of another. So let's grab a piece of blueberry bushel. And we'll go down a size. And for this one, I don't have to worry about holding it in place because that's a solid piece of cardstock. Okay, so now I can layer these like this. Well, that looks pretty cool. And now let's take this smallest of the dies and go back to our panel, our basic white, and die cut this one, just the plain white, with no outlines or anything. Just run that back through. I'm going backwards, that's all. Okay. All right. So now I can layer all of these and stamp a greeting right there. And that would look really pretty on the front of a card. So let's just say well, let's just pretend this matches. So it would look very nice there. Just a little label. All right. Let me see here. Okay, here's the piece I was really looking for. So if I did like that, that would look pretty cute. And let's go ahead and pick up a stamp set. How about a sneak peek at this new set, the Timeless Charm, that will be available as part of the online exclusives product release in July. And we'll take out the stamp that says thanks. It says thanks for all you do. And I hope that fits on here. It's going to be pretty tight. Let me get a different one. Set that aside. How about this one? Happen to have this beside me stamp set here. This is, I've been working on some Father's Day cards. So let's take this one and say, celebrating you today. And that's that. That'll definitely fit. And here's my Blueberry Bushel ink. Get this one out of here. That looks good. Nice juicy ink pad. Whoops. Okay, let's do that again. Perfect. Now I can just add some stamp and seal, layer those all together, and that's awesome. Looks great. You can also, if you wanted to not stamp the whole thing and just stamp the outline that you want, that's very easy to do as well. So let's set that aside for a second. Let's take our piece of basic white and we'll bring the Stamparatus back just because, for sake of convenience. And this time, I just want these dots, the second one around. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Write marker. And I'll, being perfectly honest with you, I don't use these very often, but they are absolutely perfect for this because the blends won't, they dry too fast. So this won't work with blends. But I'm going to take the brush end, and these are the new designed Better Than Ever Stampin' Write markers. And I'm just going to color the one that I want to use. So all you have to do is just go around and put your paper down. I don't even need to use the magnet because it really doesn't matter. And just move it out just to be sure. Okay, and so all we did was we colored that one outline. I might have picked up a little extra ink, but because I'm going to die cut that, it doesn't matter. And this is not the one here, this one. We'll just cut out that section. And that's a great way to not waste paper that you're not going to use and still get the outline around your label. You go, yeah, that's great, but I need to make 400 of them or whatever. Like if I sent you a catalog and you got this card from me, this is what I'm going to show you. I made multiples of this card, and each of them has this border around the label. Well, to do what I just did with each one of those would not only have been really time consuming, but it would have used a lot of extra paper that you don't need to waste. So let me show you how I did that. And for this part, if you don't have a stamp apparatus or some type of stamp positioner tool, it would be really hard to do. So, first thing I'm going to do, set this aside. I'm going to bring in my Stamp Cut and Emboss machine again. And I'm going to take this one, take these tapes off. And I'm just going to die cut my label. And seriously, it can be anywhere on here, so I can butt it right up against that other cut line from before and just run it through. Okay, now I grab that Stamparatus back. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up the whole stamp with Moody Mauve. Now I'm going to stamp it right down there. So do you see what I did here? I made a template. So now, all I have to do is lay my piece of cardstock right there and ink up only the line that I want to use. And that's the only thing that will be stamped. So let's get that dried off. Move that out of the way so I don't accidentally write on it. And I think, yeah, it's the little flowers again. So that's this line right here. So I'm just going to take my marker and color over it. What's also nice about this is you don't have to set the magnet, because these cling stamps don't stick to the paper like the photopolymer does. So the the paper, the cardstock won't move. All right. And like I said, if you're doing, say you wanted to use this, these dies for your Christmas cards or something like that, and you wanted to make 50 of them, this would be a huge time saver. and also Paper Saver. All right, it's pretty centered there. That's all I have to do. Set it down, press. My coloring might not have been so good there. But you can see I've pressed on it 3 times and it hasn't moved. All right. But now we have a decorated die cut that we are ready to put a sentiment on or put something else on, and we're ready to go. And we didn't have a lot of waste with that. So with this one, let's do another one. And this time we're going to do this inside one. No, let's not do that. Let's do the outside. Let's do the lines. So I'm going to go up one. I'm going to go one bigger. That would be this one. Okay, so that's the one we want to use. And I'm going to get a piece of Moody Mauve paper. So first I'm going to just die cut my label. This one's going to be a little different though. So I'm going to die cut my label. And again, it doesn't matter because we're going to use the stamp positioner to ink it up. So set that down there. That's where I'm going to want it to be. And what I was going to do is emboss it and make a white edge. But I just remembered my Versamark pen is all dried up. So we'll go back and just stamp it all in Moody Mauve. And I'll just use the marker again to color my line. And let's make sure. Looks like I left some ink behind. Sorry for the lawnmower sounds. It got really stuffy in here quickly, so I had to crack the window open. All right. While that's drying, we will color our dotted line. Again, I use the brush end because it goes a little quicker than using the bullet. Also, it tends to stay wet enough that you don't have to huff on it. And for those of you that don't know what huffing is, in stamping, huffing and stamping, when you are coloring markers, or coloring stamps with markers, there's a tendency for the marker to dry, the ink to dry, before you're ready to stamp. And if you just breathe on it, like huff on it, it moistens it up enough that you can stamp a good image. Okay, I think we're good here. Whoops. Okay. And there we have our border. So that looks good. We'll put this one on the inside. And then we could do another layer, or I could just stamp right in here. So let's take, for this one now, let's take that thanks for everything, or thanks for all you do. This guy can go back over here. Another thing we could do, should just show you one more thing before we do that. Let's go back to our white piece of paper. Let's first of all take the blueberry bushel and flip that over. So this time, let's take this one. Let me see what I got left here. Yeah, let's take that one. Now let's take this. Let's take this one. And die cut this piece of cardstock. Oh, come on. Okay. So we have this. And now let's take this back. And we used that. So let's take this. And this. And put them on both sides of that guy. We don't want them to move. So I'm going to grab my Post-it tape. Let's make sure that one's where we want it first. All right. Let me see. Where did I want bigger pieces of Post-it tape. Okay. We'll go right like that. And right like that. Nope, that does not look like. You could also, let's just do them one at a time rather than try and do that. I was going to try and cut them both at the same time, but I just don't want to have to do it 5 times, you know? Okay. And then we'll repeat it with the smaller one. Okay. Now we're going to lay that back down and grab that smaller die. Here, I think you can see better on this side. Yeah. Okay, I think we got it. Much easier that way than trying to do them both at once. All right, run this through. Okay. Now we have that one that we can use, or we can use this one and put it right over the edge of our blue piece that we cut out earlier. And then we can put this oh, come on. We'll layer that in here and then put that like that. That will look awesome, won't it? So let's go ahead and put this together. Now, if I was going to use this one in the middle, which we could do, I wouldn't want to use this because it would just line up right with it. So I'd take that out, probably leave that blue piece out, and just put this inside, which would also look really nice. Well, let's go ahead and do this one. Just use a little Tombow liquid glue. Just want to use a little bit. Okay, put that border around that die cut. Now we will add this piece in the middle and layer these guys. Put this one down. Are you impacted by this Canadian wildfire stuff where you live? It hasn't been too bad here, but you can tell the atmosphere is real dense and heavy by the sound of that train that just went past. I mean, we don't live that close to the train tracks. And it sounded like it was going right by my window. Okay, let's put that down there. That's our crooked side. Whoops. Okay. Let's take our card. And I'm gonna cut this is the gingham paper. Make that 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And let me see what kind of ribbon we have here. All right, well, you guys get to check out this new ribbon with me. This is called herringbone ribbon. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. There's 10 yards in the pack. I haven't used it before, so let's see how it does with tying a bow. Oh my, nice and soft. This should be real nice. Okay, where's my piece of designer series paper? Oh, here it is. I left it on the cutter. Okay, we'll just wrap this around, tie a little bow. good grief. If I could tie a bow, I would be so happy. Ribbon is so challenging for me. When I used to do in-person workshops when we lived in Missouri, my one friend is really, really good at tying bows, and everybody would hand hers over to this gal, and she would tie them all. All right, that looks pretty darn good, and it only took me a couple times. All right, let's get some Stampin' Seal here. So with this gingham paper, you get one side that's like a diagonal gingham, and then this one, which is the little itty bitty squares. I like them both. Okay. Put this on here. I mean, nothing fancy about this card. It's just to show those awesome dies and the stamp set together. Okay, let's grab some dimensionals. Dimensionals make the world go round. Did you know that? It's true. I noticed I am over a little bit here on this edge, so I was looking down here to see if I have a little extra blue, and there's a tiny hint, but I don't think it's anything to get excited about. Okay. All right, so there's that card. Pretty cute. Pretty darn cute. Let's go back to this one. I'm going to do the same sort of thing. This is nothing major. We'll stamp this first with the thanks for all you do. If I didn't lose it. Well, let's see, where did I put it? I'm telling you, sometimes it doesn't pay to have a clean desk. I still can't. What in the world did I do with the stamp? If any of you see it, yell. No, it's missing. Okay, I just had it. Oh, here it is. Thank goodness. Okay, thanks for all you do. We'll get our Moody Mauve. And I'm going to put this over to the side. This is this brand new stamp set. And then let's grab this little flower here and add that as well. Okay, with the flower, it's going to go off the bottom, so it's okay. It's going to stamp it in Memento. And we'll just grab some blends and color that in. cute stamp set. I think it'll be pretty popular when those that new batch of online exclusives comes out. Okay, let's see. Let's grab a little lemon lime twist for the leaves. Are you a lemon lime twist fan? I am. I'm very happy they brought this color back. And we'll use a little light wild wheat for the center of our flower. And then we'll use a little Moody Mauve for the petals. And again, I'm not trying to do any kind of fancy coloring here, just. And I don't use the Stampin' Right markers for coloring. I just really, really like the way the blends color so much more. Okay, all colored. There's our label. Looks good. Piece of cardstock. Again, this is going to be pretty much like the other card. Nothing too fancy. I have, this is from the In Color 6x6 Designer Series paper pack. Again, I cut it at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8 if you're wanting measurements. And this time, we have ribbon that matches. Or, let's see. Now, let's go this way. Make it a little different. My sister and her husband live in Delaware, and they've been traveling. They were down in Georgia, and they're on their way home, but they're taking their time getting home, and they're stopping at, she makes pottery. And so they were they stopped yesterday in North Carolina to visit some pottery places there. And she said that this smoke from the wildfires is even down in North Carolina. I hope they get them under control soon. These poor Canadian people. Well, all of us actually that are impacted by this air quality. Come on. Okay. We'll put this one on here. I should have added a basic white panel along there. It would have looked really good. Don't mind me fussing with my bows. Okay, let's get this guy put together. So we'll put this in here. We're going to use dimensionals again. It's a new sheet of dimensionals. These backings don't want to come off. All right, let's get this on here. Oh yeah, that's not even gonna work. Don't mind me. Go like that. And then we'll take this bow. This is my pair of scissors that's ribbon only. Do you have a pair like that that's strictly for ribbon? Sometimes, you know, when you cut other stuff with them, then when you get to cut in the ribbon, it just rips it up. So I keep one pair just for ribbon. All right, let's grab a glue dot. Or two. And we'll pop that right down here. Okay, so I hope you've learned some good ways for die cutting these labels. Oh, fire sirens. It's a noisy night around here tonight. There. All right, here's the 2 cards that we made. And remember, next week we will look at other ideas for using the dies. Not necessarily with, but it may be with the stamp set. But I just wanted, like I said, tonight's focus was mainly to show you different ways to die cut these dies and make your best, most efficient use of your paper. So, thanks for watching. I hope you had a good experience and that you have a great weekend. And we'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching. Bye now.